bottle, it says it's the cream of the crop. Well, the guys that work with me, they're also the cream of the crop. And although they've been bursting across deserts and bush and islands and seaplanes and boats and stuff like that, eating crocodile, eating snakes, eating impala, they've actually gone on strike. They said, we want a Floyd'S type meal for our lunch today because we want to watch the television. We're fed up with being in the bush. We're fed up with being in the jungle. So I'm going to cook them a kind of a biryani. But it's not going to be a biryani. It's going to be half a biryani, half a paella. We're drawing on Spain, Africa, India, and a bit of me. So we've placed all these wonderful ingredients on the table. Start over here. We've got some lemons, some hard-boiled eggs, some tomatoes, toasted almonds, deep-fried crunchy onions, sultanas, chopped up tomatoes, garden peas. Where else does a pea come from, I ask myself? Peppers, onions, back over here some basmati rice, pieces of free-range chicken, which one of my cameramen shot this morning. No, he didn't, honestly. We bought them in the supermarket. And over here, we've got some ginger, some cardamom, some curry powder, some chilies, some bay leaves, garlic, and turmeric and stuff like that. So, first, put the chicken pieces in the hot oil, stir them round, and brown them. This will cheer up the boys, I know it will. So, we let that sizzle away for a moment or two. Because this is real-time cooking and it has to be genuinely edible at the end, I occasionally have to have a slurp. Something I haven't been doing too much of. But this South African wine is dead tasty, I can assure you. 2 bits of onion. We add the rice. I mean, it's very important when you're making this kind of paella or this kind of biryani or this kind of dish, you must absorb the rice with lots and lots of oil. So that goes in a big quantity like that. Now stay there, Chris, I'm right back. And the idea is to get all this oil really soaked into the rice. And that is probably about right. Now, the next thing that we do, we chuck in to that some curry powder, and for those of you cookery book editors, magazine editors, and all those kind of things, it's that much, okay? We don't really know if it's 3 ounces or 4 ounces, because when you're cooking on this size, it doesn't really matter. You just put in what is right. Then we add a little bit of garlic. Then we add a little bit of turmeric, like that. A bit of cinnamon and a couple of cardamoms. And while the oil is still here, we mix all of that together again. And indeed, gosh, if we had scratch and smell television, I can tell you that the aromas coming to this already are sensational. I'll add a little bit more butter into this now, because these dishes really benefit from lots of butter, or ghee you would use, which is clarified butter. Okay, so the rice, the spices, and the chicken are all now mixed together. And then here's the boring bit. The boring bit is we now cover that with chicken stock and let it simmer for about, I don't know, half an hour or an hour, until the rice has fluffed up. So, it's splendidly cooked. Now it's time to add the last few little pieces, which are in fact the peas. So we chuck the peas in. And because they're frozen peas, they need hardly any cooking at all. Just the heat of the dish will deal with those. Then we add in some tomato pieces. I like those to be slightly raw inside, just warmed through by the heat of the dish. And then some sultanas. Now that is our basic dish. And garnish with hard-boiled eggs, tomatoes, crispy onions, almonds and coriander, and there you have it. A chicken biryani, a kind of an African paella.